There's a silence that follows the Capricorn woman. It's not the kind of silence that comes from indifference. It's the kind that fills a room when power walks in. She doesn't need to demand attention. Her presence alone shifts the energy. People stop, stare, and sometimes they whisper. There's something about her that others can't quite name, something that intimidates without trying. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on why the Capricorn woman draws envy, why people admire her in public but secretly fear her in private, and why her silence says more than any speech could. You see, envy isn't born from hate, it's born from comparison. The quiet ache of realizing someone else embodies what you wish you could be. And few signs mirror this truth more powerfully than Capricorn women. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why she stands out in a world full of noise, and why so many fall quiet in her shadow. Before we dive deep, if you find this video informative, make sure to subscribe my channel and hit the like button so you never miss more Capricorn insights. Now, let's start with the essence of a Capricorn woman. She's ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline, structure, and time. That means she carries an energy that's ancient, grounded, and deeply responsible. While others chase trends, she builds legacies. While most people talk about their dreams, she silently works on hers. Her calmness under pressure, her ability to keep going when others quit, and her refusal to beg for validation. These are the exact traits that stir both admiration and envy. People often misread her quiet confidence. They call her cold, but what they're really seeing is composure. They label her unemotional, but it's only because she doesn't perform her pain for an audience. The truth is, her strength lies in restraint, in doing what needs to be done without complaint, without chaos, and without a need to be seen. Psychologically, envy arises when others perceive stable excellence. It's not the one lucky success that triggers people, it's consistency. According to modern social psychology, people envy those who repeatedly perform well, who seem unshakable, who maintain high standards even when others crumble. The Capricorn woman embodies that stability effortlessly. She doesn't chase applause. She doesn't need a spotlight. Yet ironically, the world can't look away. Her silence, her slow climb, her refusal to crumble under pressure, that's what makes others uncomfortable. They're not sure whether to admire her, compete with her, or fear her. And so they do what insecure people often do. They talk less in her presence and more behind her back. That's the fearful silence, the space between admiration and insecurity, the unspoken acknowledgement that she's playing the long game and winning. Now, let's go deeper into the 30 reasons why the Capricorn woman is envied, admired, and often misunderstood. Reason 1. Her discipline is unmatched. When she sets her mind to something, she commits. Others watch her consistency and feel small in comparison. Reason 2. Her vision extends beyond the moment. She's not living for Friday nights or Instagram highlights. She's building something timeless that intimidates the short-sighted. Reason 3. She's quietly competent. She doesn't need to prove she's capable. Her results do the talking. People envy her ease because they mistake calm for luck. Reason 4. She exudes authority without demanding it. Leadership comes to her naturally because she's reliable, not because she's loud. Reason 5. Her emotional control is rare. While others react impulsively, she pauses, observes, and decides strategically. It's not that she feels less. She just refuses to be ruled by emotion. Reason 6. Her boundaries are firm. She doesn't let just anyone in, and that self-respect makes others feel excluded, or worse, exposed. These 6 traits form her foundation. They're the unshakable roots of her power. The same qualities people praise in theory, they often resent in practice, because they remind others of their own inconsistency. Reason 7. She's financially smart. She saves, invests, and builds stability rather than chasing trends. In a world obsessed with showing off, that's quietly threatening. Reason 8. Her sense of style mirrors her energy, refined, minimal, confident. It's not about being flashy, it's about being composed. Reason 9. People depend on her because she's reliable, but that reliability breeds silent resentment. Not everyone can handle being outshined by someone so steady. Reason 10. She's strategic in her social circles. She doesn't network to be liked, she connects to grow. Reason 11. When pressure hits, she doesn't panic. She moves like water, steady, calm, and certain. Reason 12. Her ambition isn't loud, but it's relentless. She's not chasing the spotlight, she's building empires behind the curtain. Here's where the joke lands perfectly. They don't hate her budget, they hate that she stuck to it while buying the coffee they can't afford. Now the envy deepens. What people don't understand is that her success isn't luck, it's structure. Every goal she achieves was mapped, disciplined, and executed. Reason 13. She chooses her vulnerability wisely. Not everyone earns access to her soft side. Reason 14. Her loyalty is sacred. She doesn't give it easily, but once she does, it's unwavering. Reason 15. She doesn't chase, beg, or play games. If you walk away, she lets you, and that scares people who need constant validation. Reason 16. She blends empathy with standards. She can care deeply and still say no. Reason 17. She leaves gracefully. When she's done, she disappears quietly, leaving others wondering if she ever cared or if she simply grew. Reason 18. She holds people accountable, softly but firmly. Her quiet correction often hits harder than someone else's shouting. This emotional discipline is magnetic. It disarms the insecure, confuses manipulators, and commands respect. Reason 19. She owns her story. She doesn't rewrite her past, she turns it into lessons. Reason 20. She rarely needs validation. Compliments are nice, but they don't define her. Reason 21. She's intellectually deep. Conversations with her linger in your mind long after they end. Reason 22. She has quiet charisma, the kind that pulls people in without effort. Reason 23. She guards her time fiercely. She knows every minute is energy, and she won't waste it on chaos. Reason 24. She thinks in decades, not days. While others want quick wins, she's planting forests. And as one, quote, perfectly captures, she builds in silence. Her ruins are the loudest testimony. Now we reach her unseen power. Reason 25. She's a master of her craft. Whatever she does, she studies it deeply. Reason 26. Her boundaries protect her peace. People who can't access her energy call her cold, but they forget. Warmth is for those who earn it. Reason 27. She's fair, painfully fair, and fairness threatens those who survive on favoritism. Reason 28. In crisis, she's composed. Her calm makes others' panic look foolish. Reason 29. Her rituals, her daily discipline, are quiet acts of power. She doesn't need to announce her routine. It's already changing her life. Reason 30. And finally, she's mysterious. She doesn't overshare, and that drives people crazy. When they can't read her, they fill the silence with projections, assumptions, and envy. These 30 reasons together explain the fearful silence. The tension others feel isn't hatred. It's the mirror of their own unfulfilled potential. The Capricorn woman doesn't provoke, she reveals. And that revelation makes people uncomfortable. So what should a Capricorn woman do with all this knowledge? Nothing, except own it. Because the truth is, there's nothing about you that needs fixing, only parts that need freeing. You've spent years mastering your strength, your patience, your silence, and your resilience. But what many people forget to remind you of is this: you are allowed to exist fully in your power without apology. You are allowed to walk into a room without shrinking your presence to make others comfortable. You are allowed to shine without explaining why your light burns so brightly. Don't shrink your power to make others feel safe. That's the oldest trap you've outgrown. The illusion that your calm confidence somehow intimidates others, and that it's your job to soften yourself for their comfort. No, Capricorn, your energy doesn't intimidate them, it exposes them. Your composure, your focus, your ability to stay grounded even when chaos unfolds around you. It mirrors their lack of inner balance. And sometimes people don't hate your power, they just resent the reflection it shows them. The world tells women to be humble, but Capricorn, you've already mastered humility. You don't boast, you don't beg for attention, you simply do. You let your work speak louder than your words, your results louder than your explanations. You've built your world brick by brick in silence, while others were busy chasing applause. So when people now turn around and call you too proud or too serious, it's not pride they're sensing. It's the quiet power of someone who no longer needs permission to exist. Don't downplay your achievements for the comfort of the insecure. You earned your peace, your stability, your success, not because luck favored you, but because you refused to quit when everyone else did. You endured the loneliness of ambition, the weight of responsibility, the nights where you cried and still showed up the next day. You've been through seasons where silence was your only company and progress your only proof. So no, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your success. You owe it to yourself to enjoy it without guilt. Keep climbing, keep building. Not because you have to prove anything, but because creating, improving, and evolving are your natural states of being. For you, growth isn't optional, it's oxygen. The moment you stop pushing forward, you feel restless, like a mountain goat stuck on flat ground. But here's something new to remember. Growth doesn't always mean grinding. Sometimes it means resting with purpose. Sometimes the next level of evolution happens when you finally exhale, when you allow yourself to just be. You see, Capricorn, you've mastered the art of control. You know how to keep things together when they fall apart. You know how to stay calm when others crumble. But as you move forward, your next lesson isn't about control. It's about trust. Trusting that what you've built won't fall apart just because you relax. Trusting that the right people will stay even when you stop overgiving. Trusting that you don't have to fight for what's already meant for you. Your silence is your weapon, and your structure is your crown. But let's go deeper into what that really means. Your silence isn't about indifference, it's about mastery. It's the pause before a powerful move, the breath before the breakthrough, the understanding that energy conserved is energy controlled. You've learned that not every situation deserves your reaction, not every insult deserves a defense, and not every person deserves your access. That's not arrogance, that's alignment. You've realized that peace is your most expensive possession, and you guard it like treasure. And your structure, that's what sets you apart from almost every other sign. While others live in bursts of passion, you live in patterns of purpose. You don't just dream, you design. You don't just wish, you plan. You don't just start, you finish. The structure you've built, your habits, your boundaries, your rituals, these are not restrictions. They're scaffolding for greatness. You wear discipline like jewelry, and even your stillness holds intention. People envy your order because it makes their chaos visible. You move methodically, deliberately, and they can't understand how you make progress look effortless. But what they don't see is the years of quiet consistency behind every overnight success. They don't see the failures you buried in silence, the nights you whispered affirmations to yourself when nobody else believed in you, the times you smiled when your world was breaking just to keep moving. That's why your energy is sacred. That's why your silence carries weight. It's filled with wisdom born from endurance. So when people misunderstand you, let them. When they call you too quiet, too mysterious, too serious, just smile. They're speaking from confusion, not truth. You weren't meant to be easily understood. You were meant to be deeply respected. There's a difference between being liked and being legendary. And you, Capricorn, were never here to be liked. You were born to leave a mark that time can't erase. Now, for anyone watching who's ever envied a Capricorn woman, it's time for a moment of honesty. Ask yourself this: is it really her you dislike, or the reminder that consistency is what you lack? Because envy is never about the person we envy. It's about the version of ourselves we wish we could become. The Capricorn woman just happens to embody what others struggle to sustain: discipline, control, self-respect, and resilience. She doesn't have what you can't have. She just practices what most people won't commit to. When you see her succeeding silently, it's not because she had it easy. It's because she refused to give up when it got hard. When you see her calm in chaos, it's not because she doesn't feel fear. It's because she trained herself to trust timing instead of panic. When you see her walking away from drama, it's not because she's heartless. It's because she knows her peace is priceless. So if you find yourself envying her, maybe it's not envy. Maybe it's your higher self reminding you of what you're capable of becoming. Envy, at its root, is misplaced admiration. It's a love for someone's discipline disguised as resentment. And if you're wise enough to recognize that, you can turn that envy into inspiration. Instead of whispering about her, learn from her. Instead of competing with her, evolve beside her. Because the Capricorn woman doesn't win against others. She wins with herself. Every battle she's fought was internal. Every victory she's earned came from mastering her mind before her circumstances. The Capricorn woman understands something the world often forgets. Control doesn't mean rigidity. It means responsibility. It means taking ownership of your energy, your choices, and your direction. And that's exactly why people both admire and fear her. They fear her because she doesn't need saving. They envy her because she doesn't chase validation. They misunderstand her because she's not performing her confidence. She is confidence, in motion, in silence, in grace. But here's the deeper truth. Every Capricorn woman you envy has fought invisible wars to stand where she stands. She's been betrayed, underestimated, left behind. And still she rose, not for attention, but for alignment. Her glow isn't arrogance, it's survival. Her quiet isn't coldness, it's wisdom learned from being disappointed too many times. Her independence isn't ego, it's safety. A self-built sanctuary in a world that once made her feel unworthy. So, when you look at her success, understand the sacrifice. When you see her smile, recognize the resilience. When you hear her silence, know it's not emptiness. It's peace she earned the hard way. Capricorn woman, this is your reminder. You don't have to prove anything. You've already done enough. The fact that you're still standing, still striving, still loving despite everything, that's proof of your strength. You can be proud without being arrogant. You can be soft without being weak. You can be powerful without being intimidating. The balance you embody between logic and emotion, strength and grace, control and compassion, that's your magic. Keep climbing, but climb for yourself this time. Not to prove, not to compete, not to earn validation, but to explore how far your soul can reach when it's free from other people's expectations. Keep building, not just your empire, but your inner peace. Because one day people will finally understand that your power wasn't about what you achieved. It was about how you stayed calm through storms others didn't survive. And for those who still whisper, let them. The ones who talk the most are rarely walking anywhere. You, on the other hand, are still ascending. Every silent step you take intimidates those still waiting for applause. But you've learned that real success doesn't echo, it evolves. So the next time you sense envy, remember, it's not your burden to fix their perception. It's your cue to protect your vibration. Stay consistent, stay mysterious, stay grounded. Because the world doesn't need another loud success story. It needs the quiet legacy of someone who proved that discipline, grace, and authenticity can coexist. Capricorn, your silence is not a lack of words. It's a language only the wise can understand. Your structure is not rigidity. It's stability the world secretly craves. You are not unfeeling. You are selective about who gets to feel your warmth. You are not intimidating. You are inspiring in ways others can't yet articulate. And maybe that's why they envy you most, because you've built a peace they're still searching for. So what should a Capricorn woman do with all this knowledge? Nothing. Except own it. Because when you own your truth, envy becomes background noise. When you walk in your authenticity, fear loses its grip. And when you stand fully in your worth, calm, confident, unbothered, the world has no choice but to adjust to your frequency. You were never meant to blend in, Capricorn. You were meant to show the world what quiet power looks like. So keep your silence, keep your structure, keep your crown. The world might not always understand you, but one thing is certain, it will never forget you. Here's the truth. Her strength isn't some rare, unattainable gift. It's something she's built piece by piece through consistency, discipline, and a quiet kind of courage that doesn't crave attention. The Capricorn woman's strength is the result of countless moments where she could have given up but didn't. It's learned through challenges, practiced in solitude, and chosen again every single day. She doesn't wake up fearless. She simply chooses not to let fear run her life. Her calm presence, her sense of direction, and her emotional control, all of it comes from years of falling, learning, and standing taller each time. She's not strong because everything went her way. She's strong because she found power even when nothing did. If you want what she has, begin where she did, with discipline, clarity, and boundaries. Discipline to stay committed when motivation fades, clarity to focus on what truly matters instead of chasing distractions, and boundaries to protect your peace, not out of pride but out of self-respect. Start with small actions, a morning routine, journaling your thoughts, choosing stillness over chaos. These tiny rituals might seem insignificant, but they shape your mindset. Over time, they teach you to be consistent, patient, and grounded, the exact traits that make a Capricorn woman unshakable. Build healthy boundaries that preserve your inner calm. Say no without guilt. Detach from people or habits that drain your energy. The Capricorn woman learned long ago that not everyone deserves access to her time, her heart, or her peace. When she started protecting those things, everything else began to align. That's her secret. She doesn't run from solitude, she uses it to refuel. And finally, be generous quietly. Help others without needing to announce it. Be kind without expecting anything in return. The Capricorn woman doesn't do good for validation. She does it because integrity is her language. Her grace, her patience, and her steady confidence don't scream. They whisper power. So start small. Show up for yourself. Stay consistent when it's hard. And remember, her strength isn't something you're missing. It's something you can build. The Capricorn woman didn't become powerful by luck. She became powerful because she mastered herself. And that's where true strength begins. The Capricorn woman doesn't need applause. Her results are her applause. She builds while others talk, and when her work finally speaks, the world falls silent. So to all the Capricorn women watching, keep your silence, keep your grace, and remember, they're not quiet because you're cold. They're quiet because they're in awe. If you resonated with this, drop Capricorn Queen in the comments. And tell me, which reason hit you the hardest? Don't forget to subscribe for more Zodiac deep dives. And until next time, stay grounded, stay golden, and never lose control of your heart.